Hi everybody and welcome to Let's Cook Together. I want to do a video for you. I don't know, Facebook Live recently hasn't been working or slow connection. I don't know what's going on. So I want to do a quick episode on just recording the video for you through my phone. I'm going to make different types of eggs today and different techniques, okay? A lot of people have a hard time learning how to do that, so we're going to do this today. So for the first eggs I'm going to do, very easy, it's going to be called sunny side up, right? Everybody knows sunny side up. So I'm just going to do one egg so we're not wasting eggs, okay? And then I'm going to put it on a plate. So this way you can kind of see the difference. Plates, okay, so one egg, right? Different styles of eggs that we're going to make, okay? So for the first one, you always want to start out on low heat, okay? People think you're supposed to start out on high heat, but it's not true. You start out on low heat, okay? Best. I use oil and butter, so we're going to put some oil in the pan first, okay, just to get it started. So I got some oil in the pan like this. And now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to wait till it heats up a little bit. The technique is, you don't want to rush it, okay? So just let the pan do the work for you, okay? So do it on low heat, not high heat. If you're going fast, you might burn your eggs, so you want to make sure you have a nice, consistent heat on your eggs, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start with one egg, okay? Only one, okay? So I'm going to break it. When you break your egg, don't break it on the side of something, a plate, because you might get shells and cross-contaminate. Crack it on a flat surface, okay? So you're going to crack on a flat surface and you're going to put it inside your pan, okay? So I got my egg in there, okay? So what I like to do is, so cook it on medium to low heat, okay? I got that in there. So I'm going to move the camera back a little so you can see my pan. Okay, so I got the egg in there. But everybody can see this. Maybe I raise it up a little bit. There we go. I think that's better. Okay, so everybody knows sunny side up, right? So I'm gonna tell you, give you a couple tricks here. So when I'm cooking these eggs, I'm going to add a piece of butter. Okay, do oil and butter. If I just put butter in my pan, what it's gonna do, it's gonna burn, right? So I want to put some butter now into my pan. So I'm using oil, also butter, okay? So I'm going to put some butter in there. So nice sunny-sided egg, okay? So what you can do is take a little bit of water, right? So now that's sunny side up, right? Put salt and pepper on it, season it the way you want. So just take a little bit of water, put it in your pan, just like this. Literally a teaspoon, right? So I'm going to turn this down. It's starting to pop everywhere. I'm going to turn it down, and now my egg will come out perfect. It's not going to be brown, okay? So I'm going to just cook it this way. Now I'm going to take some of this out, and I'm going to put it in the pot next to me. Now, if I want a basted egg, right? So let's say this is called a basted egg. So what I do is I coat the butter just like this on top. So it gently cooks it on top. So I'm going to throw in a little bit more butter there. So it cooks the egg yolk, okay? So if I want a basted egg, just do the egg and butter, okay? I'm going to cover it in my pan so the egg yolk is now turning white, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna keep basting it. You could flip it over soon if you want it over easy. And then, so if you want to make over easy eggs, you could do basted egg, which would be easy to do. So once you baste it with the butter, you can see the yolk is gone, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a spatula. I can flip my egg. Let me move it around. Okay, so I'm going to flip my egg. A few seconds, and that's medium, right? So it's lightly cooked, right? Then, let me flip it over. So sunny side up, over easy. That's what it's called, over easy, okay? So now this is an over easy egg, right? Leave it for another 2 minutes, over medium, then over hard, right? Let's say you wanted to do, so I'm going to put this aside. So this is over easy, right? Over easy egg. And basted as well. Basted is an old technique. People seem not to use it anymore. So, but I still like basted eggs. Basically, you just take a spoon and you baste your eggs, correct? So here's another technique that I'm going to do. So my pan is still hot. So now I'm going to crack another egg, okay? I'm going to show you another trick. So I'm going to lower my heat. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more trick here. Okay, so let's say you're cooking an egg, right? And we're going to continue cooking it just a little bit. I just want to show you really quick. This is a cool technique that you could use. Not only cooking for breakfast or maybe your friends, and you wanted to do a perfect sunny side up egg, right? So once again, I'm going to take a tablespoon of water. I'm going to add the water in there. This will make your eggs really moist, okay? The water helps with moist, okay? Now, let's say I'm cooking this egg, right? Cooking. Oh no, my egg yolk broke, right? What did I do? Well, very simple fix, right? So, let me teach you a trick. You grab another egg. Remember, flat surface, right? So you're going to strain out the egg whites, and then you're going to be left with just the yolk, okay? So take out the egg whites, okay? Just the yolk. Just put it in the center, right? And there you go. Now you have a brand new yolk in the center. Sometimes it slides off, but you could push it back, right? So now you have a perfect sunny side up egg once again, right? So now you let that cook. So now I'm gonna let this cook a little bit, right? And so maybe, but once again, I'm going to baste my egg just to get it cooking. So the technique is, so you're able to save the egg, right? Because we want sunny side up, okay? So that's another technique, okay? So I'm gonna move this around, all right? So, example, sunny side up, okay? So I want to put this and put it in another place. Okay, that's another way of doing it. Okay, so in case your egg breaks, then you're able to save it by not only it being cracked and broken, you can actually save it by putting a piece of egg on top. Okay, so now I'm gonna do some scrambled eggs. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a couple eggs for this. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bowl. I'm gonna crack my egg in here. You could add in, if you wanted to, you can add in some milk in there if you want, but it's not necessary, okay? So I'm going to just whisk it like this. So I have my pan going, right? What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna scramble the egg. So I just scrambled. See my scrambled. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of oil into my pan. Okay, I'm gonna add some oil. Then, once my pan is hot, I'm gonna add in my egg, right? My egg goes in. So what I like to do is, at this point, I grab a wooden spoon, right? In certain pans, certain way, but take your time. Don't burn your egg. So just cook it nice and slow, right? So now I like to cook it as scrambled eggs, as an omelet, right? So what I do is, when it starts to cook, I move my egg and then I move the pan, okay? So wherever there's holes, I'm going to fill it, okay? So I'm going to fill that up again, okay? So I'm going to fill. So it's going to cook. Wherever it cooks, you're going to move around and you're going to fill that hole, okay? Once again, so I'm going to do it this way. So this way you get nice fluffy eggs, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to throw in some cold butter into my eggs, okay? A couple cold pieces of butter, okay? This is going to be fluffy, okay? So now I move it again. I'm filling the holes, okay? So this is how I like to do my eggs. I don't like them really runny, so I'm going to do it this way. So now I can move around, right? And I get volume, and they're nice and fluffy, right? So this is how I like my scrambled eggs, okay? Where they're fluffy, but they're not small pieces, right? They're big, okay? Now, that's another one, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more oil in my pan. Oh, this one's not open. So leave it open. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit more oil. I'm going to show you how to make an omelet, okay? So I'm going to just do, for this one egg, okay? So I'm going to just crack one egg. I'm going to scramble it. Okay, I'm going to scramble my egg. Blah, blah, blah. Scrambled it. Good to go, okay? Now I scramble it. I'm going to put it in my pan. You know how I did the technique for the scramble egg, right? It's the same technique that you're going to do, but it's an omelet, right? Make an omelet. So I'm going to throw in my cold butter, okay, into my pan. So what I'm going to do now is get my heat up a little bit. So same technique. See how I filled in holes, right? Good. Move it around, okay? I'm not using a lot of eggs for this, just one egg. And I can still make volume, right, with one egg by just slowly moving the yolk, moving the egg away and moving the wet part, okay? So now I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of water. Okay, that's going to help unstick my egg, okay? Once again, I'm going to There you go. It's gonna unstick because of that water. Okay. So I'm gonna put in, and then your omelet won't be brown. It'll have a nice color. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release this egg. Okay, where I'm able to move it in my pan. See, I'm able to slide it and move it. Okay. So now I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna flip it. Okay. So now I have a little omelet. Right. So which I'm going to take another plate and show you. So now see how it's not burned, how the color is nice. So I'm gonna just take it and you can fold it over your plate like this and you have a beautiful omelet, right? A beautiful omelet. Okay, now let's say I'm making brunch, right? And I want now a poached egg, right? So what I'm gonna do is I have some water in here and very easy. I did pour some egg in here, so I'm gonna take some out. So I'll show you how to make a nice poached egg. So what I'm gonna do is I have boiling water in here. Okay, my water is boiling. I'm gonna take some vinegar. You could do white wine if you want. Okay. So let me turn this back on. Alright, so now I'm gonna put just a little bit of vinegar inside. Splash, okay? This is gonna help make my poached egg. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab an egg, I'm gonna crack it on my board, and now I'm going to put it in the water, right? So what's gonna happen is as the water cooks and the vinegar is gonna make a little pouch, okay? Which is called a poached egg, right? Let me get another spoon for my poached egg. You want it preferably probably a spoon, or you want something with a hole, like a spider, right? So what I wanted to do is now you wait, right? Wait a few minutes, and you can do the same thing. The longer you leave in there, it'll be over easy, over medium, over hard, right? It'll create a little pouch now, okay? So maybe I'll add a little bit more vinegar in there to help it curdle. Basically, essentially, the vinegar helps it make a little pouch and curdle, okay? And you want more water than I have, probably all the way up boiled. So now we're looking at inside, okay? So I got my egg working. So it's like becoming a little pouch, okay? So now I'm able to move the little pouch around. So once it comes to a boil, you're able to move the little pouch. So I'll show you when I take it out. It's going to be a poached egg. Right now I don't have that much water in it, that's why it's going to be flat. If I had more water in here, it's going to be like a little pouch, okay? Now it's like a poached flat egg right now. Okay, so almost there. So the longer you hold it, every 2 minutes is going to be a certain, like a steak, right? Steak can be medium rare, medium, well done, right? Same thing. The longer you hold it in the water, the longer it's going to cook. So then you will have different type of poached egg, right? So let's see. I'm gonna move it around a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna use a smaller spoon, preferably a slotted spoon, so we can drain it. Okay. So now I can grab it easy. Right, I flipped it a little bit, but I'll show you a poached egg in a second. So I got my omelet here, right? I'm gonna move it to the side. Now I'm gonna take it out of the water, and you have a nice poached egg. Poached egg is used for egg benedict, right? Or if you like poached eggs, you can have poached eggs in the morning, right? So I'm going to show you how it looks. So on the poached egg, so I got my omelet, right? And then now I have a nice poached egg, right? Poached. This is a poached egg. And it's poached soft, okay? The longer you leave it in there, you can poach it medium, you can poach it hard, whatever you want to do, however you like your eggs. I'm going to show you one more technique, and I like using bread for this. But I'm going to turn this back on. It's an old classic. My mom used to make this for me. I'm sure you know of it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a knife. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut the crust off. Okay. So get a square. You can do it with any type of bread. Okay. So you get a square bread. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut around, make a round cut, and you're going to just take out the middle. Okay. This is another way of cooking an egg. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more oil in my pan. Okay, and some more oil in there. I'm gonna make this. Technically, we're almost making a French toast, right? So we're going to cut it out, get a little piece of toast, right? The center, and then what we're going to do is I'm gonna crack another egg, right? Same thing, but now you're going to crack it right in the center. It's called a bird's nest. Right? So now we have another beautiful egg, right? The middle one you don't want to ever waste. You just eat it. Look at that. It's delicious. Don't waste your bread. So here, you're gonna wait, and I like to use butter too, right? So take a piece of butter in there. Now throw a piece of butter. I'm using a piece of rye bread. Rye bread seems a little bit salty, so you're gonna need to add salt to it. If you want, go ahead. It's your dish. If you want to add salt, add salt. It's not gonna hurt anything. So once again, I now have a bird's nest egg, right? Or it could be a French toast as well. So once my egg is cooked on one side, and I'm able to move my bread in the pan, right? Now, all I do is flip it. I got a nice bread with a runny yolk. If you want it cooked harder, you'd leave it on longer, okay? It's really up to you how you want to cook this, okay? You want a runny egg, make it a runny egg. If you don't want a runny egg, don't make a runny egg. Alright, so I like a little bit runny, so I will turn this off now. And once again, now I have my toast, right? I'm going to put it on my board, just like that. Now, I can cut it in half if I want. And then you can dip it into the egg yolk, right? And then, cheers. Delicious, creamy, and good for you. Not only does it have the yolk, the protein, and the bread, it's a good source of vitamins in here with the bread as well. Okay? Thank you for joining me. I hope you like this video on eggs, and hope I can see you soon. Thank you. Let's cook together. Thank you for watching. Bye bye now.